Hello and welcome back to another Anthony's Audio Journal video production. In this edition, Dave, Gerry, and I pack up our camp at Boothe Lake and head off toward the Vogelsang High Sierra Backpackers Camp. We get a chance to explore the beautiful alpine meadows of Yosemite's high country and stop off at Evelyn Lake for lunch before taking a steep descent along Lyell Creek down into Lyell Canyon and our route along the John Muir Trail to our next night's destination along the Lyell Fork of the Tuolumne River. John Muir once said, "Everyone needs beauty as well as bread, places to play in and places to pray in, where nature may heal and give strength to body and soul." I get it. I totally get it. Most people have asked me why I backpack and why I venture into Yosemite National Park when there's forest closer to me. I have to admit it though, I've thought about it, and the only thing I can think of is its sheer beauty and remoteness. Most people who visit Yosemite never leave the valley. Sure, there's a lot to look at down there, but once you get away from the bustling crowds and automobiles, that's the true Yosemite. Majestic peaks, icy crystal clear streams, cool refreshing breezes, and the scent of pine trees fill my senses. Sometimes I just stop along the trail and stare in wide-eyed wonder at its beauty. Being out there in the wild recharges my batteries and makes me appreciate all the gifts God has bestowed on me, my loving wife, my beautiful children, and my close friends. Those daily frustrations like politics and disease and finances drift away, if only for a few days. But it's enough to make me appreciate all the good things in life. My heart pounding climbing up that steep hill, that sunlight beating down on my sweaty forehead, and my lungs that ache for what little oxygen I can get at this high altitude, it makes me feel alive. A few months ago, I went to visit my mother at her senior living residence. There I saw old men in wheelchairs and walkers straining to mobilize just enough to do everyday tasks. A month later, I was at a Costco shopping for toilet paper, and I saw a young military vet, a double amputee with 2 prosthetic legs, proudly walking unaided, carrying that same 48-pack of Charmin I just missed out on. And I thought to myself, things could be worse. And suddenly, I felt ashamed. Who knows how much time I have left on Earth and what quality of life will be for me in the future. Now I'm looking forward to that steep climb, that heavy pack, and those pesky mosquitoes, for now I know that I am alive. Well, this is the view from our campsite. It's our last night at Boothe Lake. Now we're heading up to the High Sierra Camps near Vogelsang, and then we're going to head over a small pass down to Lyell Canyon, where we'll spend the night tonight. About 7 miles today. Well, we packed up camp at Boothe Lake, and we hiked about, a mile or whatever it was, up to the junction with the trail that splits off to Vogelsang. And now we're hiking the 0.8 of a mile from the junction to the Vogelsang High Sierra Camps. We'll go up there, take a little bit of a break. Then we have to keep going down the trail past a couple of more lakes, and then we'll get to the top of a pass and then drop down to Lyle. But it's kind of taking its toll on us. You can feel it, every day you lose a little bit of strength in the legs, and don't really notice the pack getting much lighter, but it probably is. We'll just have to take more breaks today. At least we got a pretty good start. We started about 9:15 or so, 9:30. It's not too bad. Anyway, we got a little bit of climbing to do to get to the High Sierra Camp, which we're not really looking forward to. Well, we finally reached the High Sierra Camps at Vogelsang. It's a little windy here. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me okay. But we broke camp back at Boothe Lake, hiked up about half a mile or so to the junction, and then we came another mile this direction to High Sierra Camps. We're going to be going over that direction over there. We're going to be going we're going to be going over that little pass right there through the meadow. But first, we're going to take a break here, enjoy these golden meadows and the nice cool breeze. It's nice up here, it's real pretty. Everybody owes it to themselves to get up to the High Sierra Camps, at least one of them, at some point in their life. All right, well, we made the turn from the High Sierra Camps. We're heading toward the backpacker camp. We're gonna go take a break here somewhere. We see some people off to the left, so maybe that's where that is. I thought the backpackers camp would be really close to the lake to the right of us. I guess not. Yeah, we've been climbing up since we left Fletcher Lake past the Sierra Camps. In Vogelsang, we came to this spot in the trail that's just stunning view. I believe that's looking down Rafferty Creek back toward Tuolumne, so we're going to spend a few minutes here and get some real good selfies. That green patch over there is toward Tuolumne. We're going to be going over here to the right. Well, we're heading over toward Lyell Canyon from the High Sierra Camps, and we have this long open stretch of beautiful meadow next to Evelyn Lake. Evelyn Lake is right over here beside me. Of course, in the distance you see the mountains and the clouds coming in, giving a little shadow to those big peaks back there. But the trail is stunning up here. We have a few miles to go to reach the top of the grade, and then we're gonna drop steeply down to Lyell Canyon and the John Muir Trail. Take that back to the car tomorrow. But this is nice hiking here. This is beautiful, perfect weather. It's probably in the low to mid 60s. Nice cool breeze. Couldn't ask for anything better. Well, we stopped beside Evelyn Lake here to have lunch. It's about 11:35, and we're about 10,316 feet right here beside the lake, and it's a gorgeous view. A few white puffy clouds, and that's about it. Check this out. Lake's right behind me. And we're going to be heading that direction. Well, we've been climbing for hours and hours now. I think we're at the top finally. And we're hoping everything from here is downhill. We finally reached the top. We're about 10,600 feet right here, give or take. Got spectacular views down below us here. And for some reason right here, not a breath of air. Lyell Canyon is probably down over my shoulder, or my right shoulder. Down that way. You can see our trail right there. Doing one hell of a climb. We're tired. But when you look behind me, way off in the distance, Boy, that's a phenomenal view back there, phenomenal. We're at the top of the climb out of Lyell Canyon up to here. We actually came from the other direction. We came from Vogelsang, past Fletcher Lake. Now we're going to be heading down a steep climb, or steep descent, down toward Lyell Canyon, where we're going to spend the night. It's absolutely stunning up here. 10,599. Yeah, Jerry said 10,599 feet. All right, well, we reached the top. If you were climbing up from Lyell Canyon to head to the High Sierra Camps, you'd be praying for the summit back there. That was the high point. We came the other way from Vogelsang. Now we've got some switchbacking to go, and then the trail meanders around a little bit and we get to another junction to Evelyn Lake. And then we'll finish today's hike down to Lyell Canyon and the John Muir Trail. That's where we're going to camp tonight. So 3.2 miles to go. In the meantime, we got to get down there from up here. But even though it's steep, it's downhill, and I'll take that any day. All right, well, we've been hiking down steep from the top of the pass there, and finally worked our way to the junction here. I imagine this is the turnoff for Evelyn Lake. It says 3.5 to Vogelsang from here. There's another sign right over here. Let's see what this one says. There's another one. Evelyn Lake, that direction. Tuolumne Meadows, 8 miles. All right, well, we've come down out of the higher alpine areas, and now we're down into a deeper forest, and it's all shady right here, and it's a lot cooler down here. And one gal that passed us said there was a creek down here, so we're kind of looking forward to that. We'll probably stop and take a break. But something that crossed our minds, mine and Jerry's, was this looks like a little more like bear area. Haven't seen any bears on this trip at all, none. And she said there was a creek down here somewhere. So, if that's true, if I was a bear, I'd live down here in the trees, next to a creek. I also mentioned that we're a little lower down in elevation now, so this also would be a prime spot for a rattlesnake. It's a little chilly right now, but you never know. There's no rattlesnakes up to 10,000 feet, but as you get closer to 75, 8,500, they're there. Anyway, continuing down toward Lyell Canyon.
We were up at Ireland.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Well, we're still working our way down toward Lyell Canyon. We're probably not too far. I think we're probably a mile or less. Running into several hikers coming up. Young couple. Ran into one girl wearing a mask doing a trail run. And then a little while earlier than that, we also had at first we thought it was a pack train, but they weren't carrying supplies, so it was just 4 people out on a ride. Anyway, Ireland Creek is to the right of us. Been following it for a while now. Some spots were really close and they were just absolutely gorgeous views. But right now it's probably 100 yards off. We're getting a little tired, a little newly legged. We've been hiking for a while today. It's almost 3 and we started at 9. So we're tired. But I think we'll be at our campsite probably within 30 minutes. It's not too bad. Meantime, I'm hoping we get to see a bear. Well, we've been coming down the trail for what seems like forever. And it looks like we've reached a junction of some kind. The trip over a big route. Let's see what we got here. We've got 6.3 of Vogelsang High Sierra Camp. That way, 12 Meadows 5.6. Donahue 6.8. And this is, hey, look at that. John Muir Trail. That's the direction we're going. Now we just got to look for water and a campsite. Well, now we're actually walking down the John Muir Trail, and the river is right over here. I'm going to veer off and go check it out. Been looking forward to this site all day. Hopefully we'll find us a nice campsite over here somewhere. Not right in this area, but oh yeah, look at that. There she blows. Let's go over here. This is what feeds into the Tuolumne. Wow. We're going to be following this all the way back. Well, we've been trying to find a spot down here along the river, and it's a little harder than we thought. A lot of the spots that are good are closed for renovation or whatever. Now the storm looks like it's moving in. A little bit of thunder, no lightning, thank God, but it's starting to rain. Gerry and Dave stopped so they could put on the rain gear. I'm not going to put mine on yet. I actually think it feels good right now. I'm actually hot. So I did find a spot over here. It's the only one we've seen that was decent, that was available. And I think it's as good as we're going to get because it's starting to rain and we need to get our shelters up. Oh, we're having to race around here, setting up our camp because the thunder's coming and it's starting to rain. I quickly threw up my shelter. Went up pretty fast this time because the wind's not blowing, thank God. Gerry's getting his tent set up, but he just discovered he blew the window, so he's got to duct tape it. He has some spare duct tape. Dave is over here. You okay down there, Dave? I'm good. This is our view from our campsite. If it wasn't raining, I would have set it up out here. But oh well. Well, we finally got our shelter set up just in the nick of time. The storm is coming in. We've had a couple of really big, loud, rolling, ripping thunders. No lightning, but Dave's got his tent set up down there. You can see it down there. Jerry's right behind me here. I'm actually right behind him in the background. But it was raining pretty good a little bit, you know. Everybody dug out their rain gear. I dug mine out, only wore it for a few minutes. I'm actually still kind of hot, so it's hot inside the shelter. I'm about halfway through putting up my inner nest. Haven't finished that yet, but I want to come out here and get some video. You can hear the thunder, but it's not really loud over here. That's a small one. Hopefully we'll get another one here in a minute. Don't know if it's getting closer or going farther away. I haven't really been paying attention. But I guess I might as well take advantage of the lull in the storm to get my shelter all done. Well, the storm is definitely coming. It's coming from that direction. So I'm hoping while I'm sitting here on this big slab of rock overlooking the river, I can capture a good rolling thunder. But it is raining on me a little bit. I get some big fat drops every now and then. It hasn't come down hard. Of course, now that I say that, it starts to pick up a little bit. But I saw some deer earlier down, further down the creek down there. But hopefully this storm will pass here pretty soon. It's only 4:45, so hopefully it'll stop long enough for us to get out and enjoy the scenery out here and make our dinner and finish putting our camp together. I still got to blow up my thermarest to get my sleeping bag out. Everything else is pretty much good to go. Anyway, it was a tough day today. We hiked I think almost about a half mile from Boothe Lake up to the junction, where the trail from Rapperty Creek comes up and goes to Vogelsang. We hiked another 1.2 or 3 to Vogelsang. Then we hiked another 3.5 from Vogelsang to the turnoff for Lyell Lake. And then we hiked another 2.5 from the turnoff down to the bottom where we hit the river down here. And that was probably a mile or so ago. We're probably pushing 8-9 mile a day, which is a lot for us. So we're tired. It's still early though. It's like 4:45, and we've been in camp for probably 45 minutes racing around getting stuff done. But anyway, hopefully later on we'll see some activity down by the water. We'll see deer in the meadow. Maybe we'll see a bear. Who knows? We're down here along the creek in Lyell Canyon. Thunderstorm just went through. We're at the tail end of it right now. It's just sprinkling right now. So thunder seems like it's moved off, which we're lucky for. So hopefully tonight we'll see some deer, maybe a bear. We did see some deer. We did see some deer earlier, but nothing recently. Well, if you are ever going to build a house in the wilderness, this would be the spot.
Alright, I've got my chili mac and beef ready to go from Mountain House. It's the Big 5, good till 2050, so it's probably going to be really good. Watching the sun go down here on the Lyle fork of the Tuolumne River, and I'm going to enjoy this a lot. I think I had 2 of these. I think I had one of these 2 nights ago, having a second one now, and it was awesome. Everything's awesome out here, pretty much. You can't go wrong, so really good.
Sorry, man. Wow, that was a spoiler there.
That's okay, Dave. I feel sorry for you sitting way down there in the boonies, in your campsite down there.
I can almost pick up the whole damn thing.
Yeah, it's freestanding.
It is. But I don't think there's room up here.
Yeah. We can look for you a spot. So what you got, rice and chicken?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, rice and chicken.
servings.
Yeah, and they're all going down today. Yeah. And if you wondered why, oh, this is 3 servings. Holy
3?
They make a 3? Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you ever wonder why we pee at night, this is 2 cups of water.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Get it down quick.
You're going to have to dig a great big cat hole tomorrow.
No doubt I'll have to borrow your trowels.
That's okay. Well, we finally made it all the way down here to Lyell Canyon. It's a tough day today. We started at Boothe Lake. We packed up. We headed back up to the junction. Headed over to the the Vogelsang High Sierra Camp. Made a left-hand turn, went by Fletcher. Was it Fletcher Lake?
Yeah, Fletcher.
Fletcher Lake, and there was another small little lake. We climbed and climbed out across these gorgeous open meadows. Just stunning. We had 1,000-mile perimeter views from up there. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. And at one point, we decided to take a lunch break at one of the lakes, and the mountains behind us to the right, we started seeing some clouds come in, and Dave commented that this trip has been great. There's been perfect weather, and we all kind of laughed that he kind of jinxed it a little bit. So we continued on across the meadows and climbed some more. We ended up at top of the pass was, what, 10,600 feet? 10,600 feet. And then we started down a steep decline, and we passed the turnoff for Lyell Lake, which is a few miles off the trail to the right. And eventually we worked our way all the way down along Lyell Creek until we eventually hit the John Muir Trail. And I guess this is the Lyle Fork of the Tuolumne River is what this is. I guess the Lyell Creek dumps into the Tuolumne River up here together. So, but as we got close to the canyon bottom, it started getting really dark and ominous. And then as we got down here along the creek, it started to sprinkle on us, and the thunder came and got really dark, and people were starting to scramble. We kind of panicked a little bit. We were trying to stay dry and trying to find a spot, but we had already hiked 8 miles or so, so we were pretty tired. And at one point, I went up ahead looking for spots, and we kind of got separated a little bit. But we found each other again, and we found this nice campsite. It's got a great big rock overlooking the water down here. Saw a couple of deer feeding in a meadow farther up the river, but farther up the creek. But hopefully tonight we'll see some more wildlife. We'll see some more deer, maybe in the meadow. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll see a bear tonight. But Dave's camped over there. You can see him. He's over there. Say hi, Dave. There's Dave down there. I don't know if you can see him in the camera or not, but I'm going to eat my my mac and cheese dinner. At least it's hot. It's pretty good. Maybe have a cup of coffee later, and then we're just going to chill and wait for the sun to set and wait for the star show. Well, we finally had our dinner here at the Lyell Fork of the Tuolumne River down here in Lyell Canyon, and it's a gorgeous spot for sure. Water's lazily flowing down below here. We're hoping to see some wildlife. Boy, I got a good sunburn going today. But anyway, rain stopped, clouds departed. Now we're just going to wait for the stars to come out, the bears to come out and sniff what's in our tents. Well, thanks for joining me on this third part of our Yosemite adventure, Evelyn Lake and the descent into Lyell Canyon. In the last part in this series, we pack up camp in Lyell Canyon and hike the remaining few miles along the scenic river back into the Tuolumne Meadows in our vehicles. That'll be coming up in the next edition of the journal. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
The hills are alive with the sound of music. La 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 la. For 1,000 years